Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Holler. It is July 5th, and we're doing grass work once again. We've got two fields this time. Mo, Ted, Windrow, and Bale. Don't have a clue how much of that we're going to get done tonight. Well, we're going to see how much we can do in the next 2 hours. Tell you what, there's some good equipment in shop in the sale. It was one of those new Massey Ferguson round baler wrappers. There's an M6, a Kubota M6 in there. There's a Massey Ferguson 7, something in there. There's a telehandler in there, a skid steer, lots of stuff. And David, we're going to be doing English versions of his tutorials as well. He asked if I'd be willing to do those because his tutorials are going to be in Slavic, if I'm remembering right. So English closed captioning. And I said, sure, we can do that. Something that I didn't know about is there is a butcher, I guess, on the map that you have to activate by editing the XML. Maybe he was able to get it by the QA testers by having it deactive, and then if the player turns it on by editing the map, then that's on them. I don't know, Optimus. I'm an ignorant American, okay? I read the comment at work when I had about 7 other things going on. I mean, part of it is if you're willing to use production revamp. And if production revamp works for other things that you are already wanting to use. If you're wanting to do Maze Plus or not, you know, as to if you want to switch over. Rob, what's up? All right, well, I will need some sort of account for those who want to be on the launch party. The server I've got set up for it is 6 slots now. This server is 9 slots, so I could scale this server back a little bit, at least temporarily, to boost the slots over on the other one. But that's not something I'm going to be doing 3 minutes before launch, right? Well, production revamp is a mod that allows more complicated or complex production recipes and allows some other things like for you to buy in products as opposed to having to make them. I've got a mod review on it when it first came out you could go watch. It's been updated a few times since then. At least when it first launched, there was a fair bit of compatibility issues. I do not use it on a regular basis to know if that's still the case or not. So we have 3, Artemis is 4, 5. So it sounds like we've got 5. I think Semper City was in, so that's 6. So yeah, I need to switch them around a little bit. I think I'll scale this one down to 6 slots and to scale that one up to 10. That'll work. Good morning from South Africa. How are you doing, sir? Codex, that's what we'll run with. I don't know, Will. I don't know. Depends how many people want to manhandle hoses. I thought the manure system was fun for about the first 10 minutes. And then I got a little tired of trying to manhandle the hoses and get them exactly where they needed to be. Inevitably, I wouldn't be backed up far enough, or I'd be backed up too far to then get the hoses to properly connect. I really just prefer a more simple hose implementation like Farmer Andy did on Hoff Bergman, where you connect the hoses with a keystroke and then start filling, and then disconnect the hoses with a keystroke. You get the hose hookup. It's just not all the manhandling of the hose. I think it's like Maze Plus. Either you love it or you have no interest in wanting to use it. A very polarizing feature. Yep, GTX is one of his main scripters. I don't know if that script is or isn't True, David, true. Now, in real life, farmers would put like a block or a piece of wood to give you a visual indicator of where you needed to be. If you just want to unload those moo-moos over there in the Schultz pins, that'll be fine. Thank you, sir. Right there where you're at. I might need to be the one that does it. We'll see. I probably need to be the one that does it. So just pull up. It's over here. Yeah. Mr. Hector asked me to, if I'd be willing to do it. To do the English tutorials, and I said attaching not allowed. You need to make me, I think you need to make me contractor so I can attach. It just doesn't fit. Just keep torquing it. Yeah, it took him. It shouldn't be too terrible awful wheel. It's probably like 1 or 2 breaks over 2 hours. And they should be skippable. We're definitely not Twitch breaks that are multiple minutes in duration. Giant said that the new crops would be available on the other maps. So if they will need to be added in any way, or if they will just automatically show up. We'll find out soon. Very soon. Yeah, I was going to offer to make those for him. But then I thought, you know what? If he's going to be putting them on his YouTube channel, then he might just want to drive the traffic to his own channel. Obviously for those tutorials, which is his right. And so I decided no, I wasn't gonna offer. So I figured, you know what? I'll just link to his tutorials in the description. Let him get, you know, all the credit, all the views he can for those. And then he offered and asked if I do the English ones, and I said sure. Sounds fun. We'll see. We'll see. When I get early access, I will boot up Carpathian Countryside, PC version. See if those new crops show up. I'll boot up the Hoff and see if those new crops show up. I mean, I think mod maps have all the crops defined in them. It's just they start out with the starting map having them defined already. So the question is if they will somehow pick them up, or if the maps will need to be updated to include then those crops. We'll see. We'll see. We did get an update, 1.13.1, which is going to be for both the premium edition and allows for a new outfit. How about I hit the right button? We now have a firefighter outfit. Oh my gosh, I didn't mean to wear it. Oh well. I mean, there are so many maps that use the in-game growth calendar. It's a little disappointing. But what I don't know is it because it's in the starter map and they didn't put their own in? Or if it's because it's pulling from the base game files. Speaking of the emergency pack, who has given that a twirl? It was released in beta, well, at FarmCon. Now released for reals deals. Just bringing that in a little bit. Now released for realsies on all platforms. this raked up. Schultz, the only new crop, we didn't get any new crops in 19 from DLCs. At least none that I remember. The only new crop I remember back is back with FS17, and it was sugarcane, and I honestly do not know how many maps after Estancia La Pacha had sugarcane in it. Because sugarcane was one of those do it once and never really want to do it again crops. Well, like I said, we'll find out very, very soon. If all goes well, I'll have a really nice surprise for you all tomorrow night. Oats came with 19 because oats came with the horses. But it came with base 19. Cotton was also a new crop added in base 19. No Forza Friday. Sorry. Something's trumping Forza Friday. I think you'll know why. Well, yeah, drawing out olives and grapes are expensive, for one thing. And it can be pretty hard to do it in a straight line. That's why, like, I believe it was... forgetting the name at the moment. Can't remember the name at the moment, but there was a trick shown to me. You go into wireframe mode, and basically use the grid to get your grapes and olives in a straight line. Or when you are in build mode, right, you get your coordinate lined up at 180, which can sometimes be a lot harder than it looks. And then you just plant and hit W, and you're basically going straight. Right, where you hit W and go S, and you're basically planting then in a straight line. Or you turn it to 0, you turn it to 90, whatever. Farm Sim Kids does appear interesting. It's clearly sponsored by John Deere. Sounds like you're only going to have John Deere machinery. John Deere is listed in the credits at the end. I think it's more intended for very young kids. I don't think it will change at all the game's desired rating. with respect to the main game. It seemed like there was a fair bit of interest in the emergency pack. I saw Sealy P did a video on it. Seemed to be getting really good views. Rasnick, it's a good thing you're here tonight because this video is brought to you by GoldenEye 48. Thank you. And Rasnick. Thank you for being farm barons. Well, I think Schultz is you're dealing with an international game, and different regions are going to have different benchmarks, right? I'm not going to say the American, but the North American game ratings, which are going to be America, Canada, possibly Mexico, that follow those. You've got the EU game ratings. It's going to be most of Europe. I think there's an Asian, Chinese game ratings. There could be who knows what. I don't know what the UK follows. And depending on the game ratings region, right, they may or may not care about various things. But I think reproduction is a sensitive topic in general. Yeah, where does your meat come from? Well, that can be a sensitive topic for different folks. We were explaining to our youngest, who's going to be 10 here in a couple weeks, that we were putting in an order for beef. And the beef order was for half a cow. And we hadn't ordered beef for going on 2 years. So the last time we ordered beef was in December of 2020. So I guess going on 3 years, maybe. Maybe it was December of 2021. I don't know. It's one of those 2 years. So we were talking to him about what we were putting in our beef order. And, you know, it comes from cows. And it's a farm, you know, just up the road. And it's fresh meat, right? It's not processed in any way. He's going to fill up the freezer. And he may or may not remember picking up the last order. He was definitely with me. He may or may not remember picking it up. But depending on the kid, depending on the age, they could react rather negatively to the idea of realizing that they're eating those things that they see out in the fields when they're maybe on the school bus or whatever. Well, and then you've got games like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. It goes live tonight in, what, 3.5 hours, I think the servers go live. Preload opened yesterday morning. Ask me how I know. How do I know preload for Modern Warfare Call of Duty started yesterday morning? Whatever. It's a shooty game. Pew pew. Pew pew. Nope, nope, not my son. Not my son. So, I know Modern Warfare Call of Duty 3, apparently, is preloading because I could see it on our bandwidth charts at the college. Yep. And when we looked at wireless usage, well, let's see here. The two destinations that were the most prevalent was Xbox Live and PlayStation Network. So they've been trying to preload 250 gigs since yesterday morning. We've got a little poll going on at Holler as to how many Wi-Fi is slow tickets we'll get between midnight and morning. Yeah, Holstein. I got one more. Which one is it? That one has it. That one has it. That one does not. We do not throttle. No. Well, it's a fine balancing act because it's not just we're not just responsible for providing a network for academia, for academic purposes. We are their home ISP for 9 months out of the year. Right? It's a residential campus, so we are their home internet provider. We'll see how bad it is in the morning. We'll see how, what was it, Battlefield that came out to an absolute disaster? Lifted Farm Sim to the top of the Steam concurrent charts. I watched a video earlier today about the rise and fall of Diablo 4. I didn't pick up Diablo 4 when it came out, and it sounds like now I probably don't need to worry about picking it up until it's next to free. Basically, in a period of like 1 to 2 months, losing 99+% of your player base. Well, I mean, that at some point they had 4 million concurrent players, and they had massive numbers of people streaming on Twitch. And now it's like there's more people playing Diablo 3 and Diablo 2 than are playing Diablo 4. I think in the first few days they sold like $666 million worth or something. It was a massive success that became a massive no one cares, like nearly overnight. It's like the video was very much inspired by those old MTV VH1, you know, the rise and fall of you know, whatever, name this music artist. Going from, you know, being top of the game, top of the charts, to having your albums in the dollar discount bin and no one caring at all. For being a virtual sellout at the virtual sellout at the ticket counter to a virtual sellout at the pub. There was some attribution given to the surprising success of games like Baldur's Gate 3. I think by the time Starfield came out, it was already a game that was a has-been. But then also very much credit was given towards the mishandling, the mismanagement, the excessive monetization in game by Blizzard. The whole Blizzard PR scandals. Poor working conditions, low morale. The dev team trying to get it ready so that it was good enough as opposed to, you know, the best it can be. Now, those that updated to 1.13 today, be sure you also are getting your DLC updates. The Kubota pack had an update today. The Gouville pack and the Horsch pack had updates, as well as the Eero Grape Harvester. All of those DLCs had updates today as well. If you are over in the Discord, I did put the various change logs in the announcement section if you wanted to see that. Other very, very interesting information today. The new Steam Deck OLEDs were announced. That makes them look very attractive. The new OLED version, 512 gigs of storage for the price of what the old 256 gig version was. Slightly bigger screen, HDR support on the screen, larger battery, lower power draw. We also have rumors of a New Holland harvester coming to the game. It was leaked. Leaked that during hold on, I need to get something. Agrotechnica, that's it. It was leaked during Agrotechnica, or leaked for Agrotechnica, that the New Holland CR harvester is apparently coming to Farm Sim as a mod. I don't know who leaked that information, but I posted a video yesterday afternoon in the announcements as well. Coming with a MacDon harvester header. The video showed a harvester in game, and it showed a MacDon header that was New Holland branded being used. So hopefully that'll be coming sometime next week during the Agrotechnica show. M9, what legal battle? What legal battle are we speaking of? Art, good evening. Oh, David, that's awful. Well, you know, you could have someone in the States buy it and then ship it to you. That would be a possibility. Or just come over here. Bring the little lady over for the holidays and pick it up. Have it shipped to the in-laws. That's what you could do. Yes, Artemis, I saw Farm Simulator Kids. We got the debrief on that. No, we didn't get a debrief. Yeah. We got the debrief on that after they made the announcement. which is why I did not have anything out there. Oh, she was just over there. Are you going to have an Australian-American Thanksgiving? Invite the Aussie friends over for an American Thanksgiving here in a couple weeks. That'd be interesting. Do they have turkeys down there? Or you have to fry up an ostrich or something? We fry all our turkeys now. I need to go downstairs and see how much peanut oil we have and if it's clean. Anybody get that, what is that mod that lets you, like, scare animals in Farm Sim? I saw it when it first came out. I don't remember the name of it. But, like, apparently you can go into the animal pen and hit the horn, and they'll get out of your way. Yeah, it's a mod in a mod hub. And then, of course, we have GTX's great Animal Move mod, where you can just go up to an animal pen and hit the trigger and move them virtually from one pen to the next without having a trailer. Yeah, the rumor I hear is Giants didn't think too much of people playing with their traffic, so they put it on a permanent spline, but maybe there was other reasons for that, who knows. Pneumatic Dez, welcome. Welcome to the stream. How you doing, Walter? How you doing? Tell you what, I'm looking forward to getting and using the new premium expansion mowers. Those Samez mowers. They let you windrow. What number in the menu? Yeah, Mark, I think there's lots of folks that are interested in the map, interested in some of the machinery, interested in giving the new crops out at least a good shakeout and see how it works. Ah, yes, 60. It goes up to 60 and that's it. The only way to reclaim it, Farm Sim Canuck, would be to boot up a save game backup that would have happened before the contract was 100%. Or just use easy dev controls to give yourself the money. And say, there you go. All square. Oh, look, Artemis is like, I'm not having any of this little stuff. He can play with the little toys all he wants. I'm gonna go get a big tedder. Yeah, I mean, easy dev controls is there for you, right? You get to pick how you use it. Right? It can be used for good, and it can be used for evil. But reclaiming something that should have been yours to begin with, well, that's a good use. Or, like, let's say you work 3 hours on a contract, and you unload the last load, and the dump thing's still at 99%. It's like, give me my money. I did all the work. Well, the easiest thing to do is just spawn in a load of grain in the trailer, unload it until it gives you 100%, and then empty the trailer with dev controls, and there you go. You got your 100%, you earned it, then you collect your money. So you can, yeah. You want to buy 1,000 cows into your pen? Schultz, did Will ever ask you a question about your pens and the number of animals that are shown? He was asking me how I got all those animals to show up over here. I told him I just took 3 of your pins, 3 of the base game pins, and stacked them right beside each other to make what looks like one big area. But I don't know if you had done anything to make it so more animals showed up at once. Right, but what's the limit? The limit's 25? Well, if you've got 25, 50, 75, 100, I mean, I could have 150 cows show up there because I've got 6 pins all right there in a square. So, yeah. Right, so I can have visually 125 cows appear there. It's even more impressive if you turn off the, can I turn off the triggers? Yeah. So if you turn off the zone markers, right? Okay. So if you have it set to low, you're going to get less cows show up than if you have it set to very high. Rabbit Rob, thank you. 29 months of Farm King membership. The top tier. Well, if they were max numbers, then yeah, the game would run like trash on lots of people's systems. It's never the mod, it's always the game that suffers the performance issues. It's not the 5,000 mods in my mod folder. They're not the problem. The game is just horribly optimized. Sure. Sure. Well, I'd be a little annoyed if I only had 10 cows show up too. I tell you, the ally has quite the controversy going on. Apparently there's different SKUs of the ally, and they all use the same name, ally. And depending on the SKU, you can have very, very different performance characteristics. I think the ally has a better processor than the Steam Deck. I think it had better battery life. It's a Windows device, so it's not running Linux and using a emulator, so it would have better game compatibility. Gamers Nexus did a video where they compared two different allies. They were two different model numbers, but as far as marketing was concerned, they were identical. ROG Ally, ROG Ally. You had to dig into the actual model number and then go on the website and figure out what the actual model number spec meant. Have a good look at that if you're remotely thinking about it. Yeah. And what I would like to see, you know, is drawable borders on your nav meshes. Because, you know, when you place something down, a animal pin has to have a defined animal nav mesh, and the animals will never go outside of that. Right? They won't walk outside of that. So, you know, I could put in this grass area that I've been mowing, right? I could fence it in all around, and I could put one of your pens down. And I could have hundreds of cows in this area, but they'd only ever walk in that little square over there. What good's that? I want to be able to draw out the nav mesh border, and then the animals can just free roam within that nav mesh. We got drawable fences. Why can't I have a drawable nav mesh border? Or do like City Skylines where you put the pen down and you get nodes, And then you just, okay, 4 nodes. Boom, 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 boom. Draw your square. There you go. Thank you, Stefan, for the sub. We were having a discussion earlier today in the Discord. Exclamation Discord if you want to join and be a part of these chats. What classic tractor would you like to see brought into the game officially by Giants? We're not talking about mods from modders. We're talking about official Giants classic tractor. We've got some classic tractors coming in premium. We had a classic Fendt in platinum. We had some older John Deeres show up in base game. We got that old Valmet in the base game. Artemis, that is the holy grail. That's the holy grail that has been tried by so many people. The self-propelled small square bale loader. You know, when the multi-pack, the Arcusin multi-pack was base game 22, I thought to myself, well, maybe now it's possible. I would like to see Gleaner. Everything's cleaner with Gleaner. I learned that logo when I was at the National Farm Machinery Show. Gleaner is celebrating its 100 years, I believe, of basically having self-propelled harvesters. The oldest line of self-propelled harvesters in the States. Something else I learned at not FarmCon, my gosh. Something else I learned at the National Farm Machine Show in Louisville, Kentucky, back in February of this year, is Farmall celebrating its 100th anniversary this year. I was like, nice. Growing up, that's all we had, Farmall tractors. We had an H. Farmall H never ran a day that I knew it. We had a Super H. I drove that quite a bit growing up. We had a 486 with narrow fronts. We had an 806 with wide fronts. That was the spraying. You look back at it now and you think maybe probably not a good idea. It was the tractor we used to spray with. No cab. No cab. It was just open seat. And we're spraying pesticides in an open seat. Yep, those were the days before we knew better. We had a 986. That was our only tractor with a cab. That was predominantly hooked up to the baler. We did a lot of grass work. We did a lot of straw work. go collect these off this other field. See how many we got. Oh, look at that, David. Look, they're only selling the good version to you. I guess the Aussies have very discerning tastes. White equipment, old Alice Chalmers, leaner R series. Well, now that we have the Giants office in Chicago fully staffed, I don't know if they're fully staffed, but fully in swing, hopefully we will see Giants pursue more North American machinery licensing. We'll just have to see how long it'll take. Bill's Bob, good evening to you. Good evening, sir. How's it going? We're gonna quickly run out of bale space. So we have 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Oh, are you serious? We're one bale short? A full stack. At one point in time, they were hiring for an events coordinator to line up events and logistics on that. Pretty sure I got everything up there. Yeah, one short of a full stack. I'm not sure if that's the best idea. All right, let's go. And then we'll get back here and start baling. We made, see what we got off of this field last time. $586,000 liters of grass. 586,000. Now, if we have 9,000 liter bales, what's that come out to? A lot. That's right. Let's do the math. 586,000 divided by 9,000 is 65 bales. Less than 3 loads on the wagon though. 2.5 loads. So I passed today. I passed a flatbed hauling giant square bales of something. Couldn't tell if it was straw. It was dark. Didn't look like straw by the color, but it kind of looked like straw in other ways. So it may have been straw that kind of got rained on. Horn dork. Oh, we missed each other. I plan to be there next February, health permitting. Would enjoy meeting up with anybody else that's there. Did a little coverage of the show in the channel. I've got a gimbal this year to use. Have a little better control on the video. Try to talk Giants into going. I think it would be awesome from 2 standpoints. One, it's a massive way of getting in front of just about every manufacturer that's worth getting in front of from a business standpoint. And from a player standpoint, well, you know, when area schools go to the Farm Machine Show as an all-day field trip, there's quite an interesting audience of player potential there as well. Hit them on both fronts. The business development team could have a heyday. The gameplay marketing team can have a heyday. you know, there are farm shows in Australia, I'm sure. You'll have to just go to those and cover them. Yeah, we're gonna be here a while. That's for sure. We're gonna be here a while. Because I'm the only one that can make the bales. Because bales made by anybody else are tied to them. Then we'll, well, yeah, about the time you're done raking, we'll be closing up for the night. We don't have the, I don't think we have the owner transfer mod enabled. Not saying that we couldn't put it in. I wouldn't mind having a front man for the farm show this year to run the mic and possibly interview some folks. That we are basically that we're covering the farm show as fans of Farming Simulator and asking those representatives of the various manufacturers if it's a game that they have been aware of, and basically what types of how would they market their product to the player who is playing the virtual farm. And like, go, do it, give me your marketing speak, but it's got to be geared as if, you know, you're the salesman of a of Carlos's Motors, since you mentioned Raznak. But if I'm going to be the mic front man, it's not happening. But I need to find a mic front man early enough that I can buy mics. Or buy them, yeah, buy mics. Or a mic. Because I'm not going to use the mic off the phone. Everything I recorded last year I used my my cell phone for. So I know there's some good Rode mics. I can get a Rode mic on a little stick. I don't know if the Price is Right mic. That's how I think of it as. Back in the day with the Price is Right host, when he had his mic, it was a little narrow stick. It was like 2 feet long. Yeah, that was with the phone. That was free holding. That was free holding. Now, I did pick up between that and PAX East. I did pick up a gimbal that the phone mounts into, and that helps with overall phone stability. But Rode has a little mic stick that you can attach their Rode lapel mic to, and then it Bluetooths, so you can Bluetooth it back to the phone. But yeah, I'm interested in a mic man. What I did last year is I would go out to the show in the morning. Get the show started about 9 o'clock. So I'd head out to the show, and the hotel I was at was walking distance to the show, so I would walk to the show. See, that's what's, see, Courseplay is what's screwing up that whole window. And then I would try to record until 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And about that point in time, it got super packed. So then I'd go back to the hotel and then spend the afternoon dumping video off the camera or off the phone and piecing all the clips together. And then, since I didn't have my great home internet bandwidth, it was then spending all evening and part of the night uploading the rendered video. But the Rode mic, that's what DJ Goham used at PAX. I've seen plenty of other people use that mic, and it seems to have really excellent pickup, excellent background noise filtering. Perfect for something like a busy trade show. There. All subsequent windrows will be nice and neat. I'm not paying that much for the mic. I just want a Bob Barker lookalike. Oh. See, this is what happens when I play too many games. I get the keys all mixed up. I'm here hitting 2, trying to change camera view. But that's ATS camera view. I tried watching the Jim Carrey. Is it Jim Carrey? Drew Carrey. Tried watching the Drew Carrey Price is Right. Nope. Didn't do it for me. Sorry. It's just not gonna work. Did I hear Pat Sajak's done with the Alphabet show? What's that? Wheel of Fortune? And then Jeopardy's got a new host. I don't think I can do any of those game shows anymore with the new hosts. It's just, I don't know. I don't think the chemistry's there. At least it probably wouldn't be for me. That Ken Jenkins guy. He's the guy that had that big run on Jeopardy. I thought it was that chick from Big Bang for a while. Was she just temporary? Yeah, that's the chick's name. Then who does Wheel of Fortune now? Ryan Seacrest does Wheel of Fortune. Okay. All right, let's take a row and go. What I found interesting is so I have a coworker who went to college, same college I work for, and we have courses, travel courses, over a special short term. So we have what we call a May term that runs for 3 weeks in the month of May, obviously, immediately following graduation. And there's lots of travel courses that happen during that time frame. And he went on a travel course to LA. And it was an elective course all about film and TV. So they went to LA. They toured a lot of studios. They got to sit in on some filmings of various shows. And one of those was a game show. I don't know which game show it was at the time. But what he heard and what he learned was when they give away cars, they'll give the same car away countless times. Because they'll give a car away, right? But for you to claim the car, you have to pay the sales tax in studio before you leave. Right? So if you win a $30,000 car, you better be prepared to be able to pay up the sales tax on the car. And if you can't pay the sales tax, well, then you can't collect the car. It goes right back into the pool, and we'll give it away next week. So apparently lots of the winners of the big ticket items on those game shows don't always guarantee to walk out with those winnings. Think about those big showcase winners on Price is Right. Right? When they win a showcase, or heaven forbid you win both showcases. The only way you're collecting on any of that is to thank you for winning. Here's your bill. Go over to the clerk to pay. Oh, you can't pay? Well, thanks for participating. We got a TV show out of you. There's the exit. Yeah, little game show demystified. Yeah, I mean, if you're a cash winner, the IRS is definitely going to get their share. Let's check the store. See if we had this money. We could pick that thing up. Right, if we had good money, we could pick up the M6. The M6 got an update, I think, to change this out, or maybe they had, I don't know, I don't think they were there before. Those lights. We got a 7S. These things are a lot bigger. I saw a whole line of Massey Ferguson S tractors at the National Farm Machine Show too. Well, the one thing that I did learn by going to the farm machine show is the scale of modern farm machinery is just so much bigger than it was growing up. And not the whole, well, when you're a kid, it's a different perspective. No. This stuff is just flat out bigger. Well, see, the lotto winner doesn't pay the 40% out of pocket. It's taken out of their winnings before they get it. Right? So if you win a $40 million lotto, you didn't really win $40 million lotto. And I think when you go to collect the winnings, they ask you, do you want it up front, or do you want it in monthly installments? Right? So either way you get it, you're getting it out, or taking the taxes out before they pay you. Probably, David, probably. Because it's all calculated on, well, at least here in the States, for federal, your tax bracket is based on your income. So if you take an annual, and I don't know how many years it's paid out over. Well, if you take it all up front, right, obviously you're going to pay the highest tax bracket. But if it's an annual payout of, let's say, I don't know, depends what you pay out. It's a monthly payout of $5,000. That's $60,000 a year. 10 years would be 600,000. So if you were unemployed and you're living off of your lotto income of $60K a year, I think your taxes would be $60K a year, regardless if it's lotto income or earned wages. Now, it might be different. I haven't studied tax law and lotto winnings for a long time. But it may be that lotto winnings are a single percentage, a fixed percentage bracket. But since I don't play the lotto, I don't have to worry about it. Where are we at? 214 bales made over the life of this baler so far. Not a bad amount. Oh, well, Will, you gotta be, you know, if you're lucky like me, you work somewhere where you don't get bonuses. Then you don't have to worry about all that. But I hadn't studied tax law since, let's just say the mid-90s, when I was in college. Now I let the tax software do all my tax law for me. We're getting there. We're getting there. Well, Bill's Bub, I think he fired himself because he said when I was self-employed. One day he walked up to his own desk and said, well, we're going to have a chat. I got HR in the office next door. Can you come on over and talk? Can we just do it here? And then he said to himself, no, I really need you to come next door so HR can have a chat with you. But isn't HR myself too? Just you need to come over. Skype the meeting. Man, what? How long have you been paying attention? Skype's not a thing anymore. Schultz, it depends on your license. I don't know. We don't use Teams for meetings. At least not right now. I have a hate-hate relationship with Teams. I hate that I have to use it, and I hate that it exists. I think it does nothing good. And everything it does do is mediocre at best. So for now, we use Zoom for our video, but at some point we need to reassess because, well, we're paying for two products that replicate services, so. I think it's better myself. I know it's annoying. I know which is definitely not better, and that's the Google Meet stuff. That's just annoying when I get invited to a Google Meet. And half the time that I get invited to a Teams meeting, they don't have a call-in number, and I'm not using my PC audio because I don't have a headset. So, yeah. I mean, part of the Teams problem is that it's so tightly integrated with everything else Microsoft. Why not? That if you don't heavily use everything else Microsoft, you end up with data just all scattered to the wind. don't use OneDrive, but you use Teams, well, any file you share in Teams gets its own OneDrive file. So then you have OneDrive shares with files all over the place. Then you end up with different copies of files in different places. People are using, oh, well, here's the version I got. Well, where did you get that version from? Oh, not over at the official place where we store files at. You got it off the Teams thing because someone uploaded a file there once to show it to you. Every team gets its own stupid mailing list. So then next thing you know, you get mail being delivered to some Teams group. You're like, where the heck did these messages come from? Every team gets its own stupid calendar. So then you get events showing up in calendars. You're like, where did these come from? Or heaven forbid, you're like, you know, in 5, 6, 8, 12 different team groups. You're like, well, I had a discussion with you somewhere, but damned if I can figure out where I had it. At least Skype for Business was good because it stored all of your conversation history in your Outlook mailbox, which meant it was all searchable from one place. But that's neither here nor there. We got a lot of windrows left to get. I have a feeling I'll be bailing up this sometime over the weekend. Because again, folks, we got something very special planned for tomorrow night here on this channel, the main channel. So be sure to check the channel for a live stream announcement tomorrow. Our normal time slot, 8 p.m. Eastern, where hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be showing off Zielonka, our first looks at the new map, our first looks at the new machinery, the new crops, new gameplay mechanics with the premium edition for Farming Simulator 22. Don't forget, tomorrow is Friday. That means we should have our final fact sheets for the premium expansion being released and announced. Over the weekend, I'll be putting out videos, I hope, covering the 3 new crops, the gameplay mechanics around those 3 new crops, the various harvesting options around those 3 new crops, and of course putting together the all-important map tour for Zielonka that will release on Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, which is exactly when the DLC will release over at Giants eShop. And then 2 hours later on Monday night, we'll be doing our launch multiplayer party, sponsored by GPortal. Until next time, happy farming.